Greetings and welcome to Nightfall. My name is Patrick. I am your host, and this week we are playing Agents of the Black Hand, which is this little spin-off that I've created that began from a one-shot that I entitled Pirates Bay. From that spawned a little bit of a side venture with some borderline murder hobos that are Aiden, Brandon, and Dean. And last week, we got into a little bit of stuff here and there in a place called Chimeria, which you'll see right behind me, which is actually available on Incarnate as a published map that you can use in your own game. Aiden, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the character you're going to be playing this evening.
So I work with Patrick, and sorry, give me 1 second. My character's name is Lorik. He's a Eladrin Ranger, and he kind of just likes having fun with the people he's around, but at the same time, be a little mischief by himself. A little mischievous. And he loves money and rum.
To recap what happened last week, our party, our group of conspirators, whatever, they went in search of getting a safe that they procured on the ship that they procured. They wanted to get it opened, and they didn't know how. And so the first thing that came to mind is, hey, let's go talk to the really nice, evil queen, Drow, that's been, giving us work. And it did work out. They got the safe unlocked, but she asked them to do something for her as well. And that's an endeavor all on its own. Basically, she wants someone murdered and replaced. Very, whatever. But Aiden, and somewhere when they went into the courtroom and then were talking to some nobles and then made their way out of the courtroom, that's where you kind of fell into that rabbit hole. Somewhere along that route, you met Alice and the rabbit and the Mad Hatter and had tea. And so, in the spirit of that, I thought I'd take you down a real rabbit hole. Okay. So, when you enter into the courtroom and they speak with the nobles, and the nobles are like, you guys look important because you guys are wearing those brooches. And they direct the people that are your companions to the door that they went through. They begin off that way, and you start to follow them. When someone comes in the courtroom as well, a very large, stocky man, and first look, he does look like a man until he removes his helmet. When he removes his helmet, you see these tusks, and you know that from what you thought was just the look of the chainmail and the armor, that he actually has green skin, greenish skin. This isn't orange. He He's got tusks. He's got a ring going around his nose, and he's got his little, you know, braids in his hair and so forth. And might even have braided bones into his beard. He has very grizzled features, maybe a scar across his eye. He says, "Ho there. You're that elf that the missus has been talking about, aren't you? The hunter?"
Yes.
What is it?
Who are you?
What is it you call? Sorry? What does you call yourself?
Lorik.
Lorik. Lorik, what an elfin name. Very dainty. Makes me want to puke. But Lord, I've been told that you are quite good with that bow, are you not?
Yes.
Are you any good riding across the plains on the back of a beast?
We could always find out.
Well, it's one thing to be good with a bow, but if you can ride and shoot the bow, well, now you're useful to me. And we want to see whether or not you can be useful to someone like me. Hi, I'm Malachor. And he extends a hand.
I extend mine forth.
He says, it is a pleasure to meet you. I'm the leader of this group of orc riders. Now, I've been asked to see if you have what it takes to ride with the big dogs. What say we go meet him?
Let's go.
So you guys end up leaving out of the fort through a back door. That doesn't leave out to the corridor, but out to a stable area. When you go into the stables, it's not filled with horses. There's wolves, dire wolves. You can hear some of them howling, growling, and snipping. And as the orc Malachor begins to walk along, of course, they all grow silent. And they come up to the bars and they lap at his hands as he walks along, each of them biting for his attention. He says, they're a lovely lot once you get to know them. And you're going to need something to ride yourself. What say you pick one of these?
Okay.
But of course they say a wolf really picks their rider, not the other way around.
What do you mean by that?
He says if you manage to keep your hand, you'll pass test number 1. So I'd like to get you to do an animal handling check.
18.
18. Jesus. That's good. What did you roll, may I ask?
That's 16, and I only had to add 2.
Oh, so that was a really good roll. Very good. Fate is with you, I guess. So you, without hesitation, without, how you say, second guessing yourself, you extend your hand out towards the cages, and dry skin. One of the wolves, it lowers its head after sniffing the air for your hand, lowers his head for you to reach out and touch him. And you see Malachor, and he's watching. He's like, well, that's rather impressive. Not even a whimper. Okay. He looks the back part of the stable. You can see a couple of workers there, both human. He says, "All right, get it saddled up and get it in the courtyard." You, he says, pointing to you, Aiden, are, what was your character's name again?
Lork.
Lord. You, Lord, follow me. And he leaves back out the same door you both came in. And instead of going, uh, you guys end up going back into um, the main courtroom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then um, you go back out there, and you go into a back door. Actually, the same door that Brandon and Dean had gone through previously. Okay. Only when you go in there, they're they're not in the hallway. They're probably down the stairs, investigating the area in which they discovered there was a goblet of blood and apparently a sarcophagus and a couple of the things down there, which spurred the evidence of some sort of vampire that may have been living in the keep. But you make your way not to the first door on the left, but to the second. And in there, open it up, and there's an armory. Okay. And opens up the doors. He says, "All right, if you want to get up with anything, you'd go ahead and do it now. If you need anything at all, we're going to go on a patrol. Nothing fancy. We're just going to go out there and see if there's something out there worth shooting." But there is a chance that what we end up shooting at might end up shooting back.
What is that supposed to mean?
What do you think it means? We're going on patrol. If we come across anything we don't like, we're gonna kill it. And sometimes things don't like getting killed, and they try to kill you. You ever been in a fight before?
I kind of like this idea.
What'd you say?
I kind of like this idea.
Okay. But yeah, he tells you, go ahead and get yourself ready just in case you do have combat.
Okay.
It's going to be a patrol, but patrols can end. The whole reason for a patrol is to make sure there's nothing nefarious going on out there. If there's anything nefarious going on out there, well, you guys got a bunch of orc riders.
Very true. Well, I think I'm going to look. I need some arrows, in all honesty.
Okay. So, give me just one second. I apologize.
So, you said you wanted to get some arrows.
Yeah.
You find a number of different arrows, and you find arrows of different styles. You have like basic castle forged arrows, steel tip, and very beautiful shafts and so forth. Each one intricately made. You have of course elven arrows and orcish arrows and even some dwarven arrows, so on and so forth. You can tell that they've been fashioned in different ways. Anyhow, you even see what might be poisoned tip, or not poison tipped arrows, but poisoner's arrows, which has a little satchel with it that has basically a little compartment for your poison, for you to dip your arrows into. What are you looking for?
Yeah, I'll take that. That one with the poison.
Okay. He sees you go for it. He's like, oh, good choice. You have much experience with poison.
Not too much, but it couldn't hurt to help pick it up. Or it couldn't hurt to pick it up.
Could be entertaining for me as well. After all, if you don't know what you're doing, there's a good chance you could poison yourself. So go right ahead. I believe that's wyvern poison. Don't worry, it's just paralytic.
Interesting. Where did you get this?
Oh, well, wyvern poison?
Yes.
From the... Oh, you must be new here. You don't know about the wyvern riders.
Tell me about it.
Oh, well, there's a bunch of, riders of wyverns. So there's a fleet of wyverns that have riders, just as much as we have orcs that ride direwolves. There are drow that ride up on the backs of wyverns.
That's kind of crazy.
And now for a short glimpse into the past as we wait for another player to arrive.
Lady Vel is a character I made. And when I discovered this keep, there was I guess you could describe it almost like a tower almost, but it wasn't like a full tower. And it was like an aviary almost that was built into the keep. And went inside, and there's this wyvern in there. And it's sickly. It's, starving, half to death. And my party members were like, we should just kill it. And they were thinking XP. But I thought of potential. And I was like, don't kill it. Instead, we had a ranger with us, played by Terry. And I was like, hey, Terry, I believe that maybe your work could be done here as far as bringing the creature back to good health, and also teaching it to trust us and so on and so forth, and maybe even training riders of wyverns, And I actually got the opportunity numerous times to ride this particular wyvern into combat and to go do different things, endeavors. And so I wanted a little fleet of them. And so I put together like a couple of sessions where I started being a quest giver. I was a player that was playing the part of a noble that was giving out quests to other players that were playing the part of these adventurers that were living in my city. And so I was like, hey, I need some wyvern. I need wyvern for two reasons. One, it's cool, but also I needed wyvern poison. I needed the venom. It was one of the ingredients I required for becoming a lich. Was a potential for my character that I always wanted, and eventually was okay. Oh, did I say too much? I think I did. Anyway,
Pretty interesting.
So yeah, Chimeria is basically you have you been paying attention since you've been here?
Yes.
It is a mixture of all walks of life, okay, of all races, from elves to orc, dwarf to, all living in harmony together, okay? They claim themselves to be more like a Switzerland, as you don't start nothing, won't be nothing. They're neutral to most other nations. They act as a neutral territory. Okay. But yes, their lands are protected by wyvern and wolf riders. They have orcs that ride upon the backs of dire wolves that happen to be lycanthropes that patrol the lands, while wyvern riders also patrol to make sure that the lands are safe. what I want you to do, Brandon,
Yeah.
I want you to get on the World Wide Web, and I want you to pull up orc and orc. Okay.
So I found one. Medium humanoid orc, chaotic evil.
Aiden, was there anything else you wanted from the armory before?
Yeah, to see what kind of bows they have.
Okay.
They'd possibly grab a new one.
Well, you find a lot of like fancy bows and so forth here. What kind of bow do you already have, Aiden?
I think it was just a normal longbow.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah, it's just a longbow.
You find basically the same equivalent to that, and as you're looking through bows and so forth, Malcor, the guy that's there with you, he produces a bow of fine quality. And he says, if you do well for me today, I'll give you this bow.
Deal.
All right. So, from there, you leave with Malcor. Of course, you don't need anything else, do you?
No.
Okay. So you leave with Malcor, out the same doors you came in, and down the hallway, and back out into the court, the main court, and then through the foyer, back out to the main courtyard, where you seen the captain drilling the soldiers many times before, but instead of that, the courtyard is full of orcs and dire. There's like 20 dire wolves in the courtyard, and orcs as well to boot. Okay, technically 19 orcs and 20 dire wolves. The, of course, 20th is yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Malcor, he motions to the orc, the dire wolf, and you follow him over, and of course she says, well, this is the one that chose you, or you chose, so go ahead and mount and follow the party, and if they tell me that you pulled your own weight when you get back, this bow is yours.
Okay.
So when you get aboard and so forth, you mount your dire wolf. I'm going to ask you once again to do me an animal handling. Now, because you succeeded the first time handily, I'm going to give you advantage on this check.
I got a 10 and a 17, so 17.
Okay, yeah. So you let the wolf sniff your hand. It licks your palm, and you pet its and tug its ear and pop on its back, and it lifts up with you aboard it, ready to go. And sitting on the wolf next to you is an orc. Brandon.
Yes.
Okay. So you see this elf. Well, why don't you go and describe yourself again for us, Aiden? And what mood are you in? Because that determines what you look like.
I'm a Eladrin elf ranger, and I'm pretty happy right now.
happy. So like springtime.
Yeah.
So you're sprouting vines and leaves and things of that nature.
Yeah. I'm out doing what I love.
Okay. All right. So you get aboard the orc and look to you, or the dire wolf and look to your left and look at this orc, gnarled and nasty with his armor and his blade. Oh, not blade. His scimitar and riding this dire wolf when he looks over. And Brandon, do you say anything to him? This elf riding a wolf.
I kind of look at him and go, puny elf, never catch up, never keep up.
Oh. I guess we'll just have to see who can keep up.
And about that time, you hear one of the orcs, who seems rather important. He says, "All right, you scallywags, get with it. Let's head out." And he begins to motion and draws his sword, and you see him motion towards the gate, and he begins to leave, and everyone else on their wolves also begin to leave at a basic trot, making their way out of the courtyard. Now, Aiden,
Yeah.
I'd like you to do me a. Now, normally, operating like a riding a horse or anything like that, a mount of some sort, there's a dexterity check involved in order to maintain your balance upon. I'd like you to go ahead and roll me a dexterity check, please.
That's just like a normal D20 and then whatever it is, right?
Yeah, and if you're proficient with dexterity, then you can add your proficiency.
I got 11.
Okay. So, the wolf begins to lurch forward, and you can feel yourself a little bit wobbly in the saddle as you try to maintain your balance on it. As it lurches and its hips sway one side and the other, you don't come off of it, but you're just, you're like a sailor that has forgotten his seatbelts, and it begins lurching forward, and you're doing fine to maintain, but only bare. But at a gentle trot, you begin out the courtyard and enter into the city. Okay. There, of course, you ride out through a pathway that leads you through a um, a training ground. Okay, which would be like a what's the name of it? A compound. Thank you. A small compound, a military compound. And from there, you cross a bridge and make your way out into the the wilderness outside of the gates. Of course, on your way, everyone, of course, stands aside watching you ride out. Some of them even cheer watching you and seeing you ride on these guards is some endeavor that they always look forward to. Somebody just dropped on. That many of them look forward to. And as you begin to leave out the gate, you can see in the sky above you what look like large bat-like creatures with long necks and long tails with bat-like wings that fly overhead. As you are leaving on patrol, see that wyvern riders are returning. and they go into a tower that is inside the keep's courtyard, and funnel in through the opening at the top. Each of them coming to roost on the perch on the top ring of the almost aviary, and then crawl down inside, disappearing as you guys leave out the gate to begin your patrol. There was 5 wyverns, each with a rider.
Interesting.
So yeah, a few minutes go by, and you are just setting out past the farms and the plantations that lie nestled off into the nooks of the borders of Chimerian. And as you get about a good mile outside of the walls, you come off the main road and begin making your way into the Great Plain. At this point in time, you guys start running full speed. Okay? You're no longer at a trot. You are going. And the wolf, it is lurching and jumping and leaping and bounding, almost like a deer would run through the woods. I need you now to go ahead, Aiden, and roll me another dexterity. And if you're proficient, you can add that proficiency.
Well.
Say that again?
12.
So, when the wolf pack lurches to the left, again running off into the plains, as your wolf leaps over a rock, and the first bound, you're not ready for it. And you fall off the back of it like a failed rodeo clown and roll on the ground just in front of this rock, only inches from busting your head completely open. Go ahead and roll me roll me a dexterity saving throw. Yeah, acrobatics. We can do acrobatics in order to, land.
Ten.
All right, so.
Oh no.
Do you have some dice available for you, Aiden? Go ahead and roll a d6.
Oh. 6.
All right, you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage. As you tumble on the ground, you fall like a sack of potatoes. And you just tumble head over heels. The wolf, of course, stops, comes back, and is like trying to apologize as it licks your face. And meanwhile, you're just like, Brandon, you run around on your warg and circle back around. You're like, get up, you lazy, good for nothing elf. Sorry, I stepped on your toes there, but yeah.
No, you're good. It's all good, man. Just want to give you a little tidbit update about this, Patrick. I am now in Discord on my computer.
Nice. Success.
Yeah, so I know, right?
To celebrate, why don't you insult the elf's mother?
Oh, how did it go?
I'm just
your mother. No, your mother smelled like elderberries, and your mother was a motherless goat.
okay. I like the improv. Good. All right, so Aiden, are you giving up or are you getting back aboard that wolf?
I'm gonna pat the wolf on the head and hop back up on.
Okay. All right. So you dig in with your heels onto its side and, make sure that you're nestled in there really good. And when you're ready, you go ahead and, nudge the wolf underneath its belly with your heels and it begins to lurch forward again. Brandon,
Yes, sir.
you're leading the way. Okay. What I want
Okay.
you to do is I want you to try to go as fast as you can. Okay. Riding
Okay.
that wolf as fast as you can. And how you're going to do that is I want you to make a dexterity check for me. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to roll your d20, add your dexterity, dexterity modifier to it. Okay. And then tell me what the total.
So, all right. So I tried to look up the orc monsters for D&D. It will not. It only brought up
No problem.
the stuff. So
No problem.
I'm gonna use my character sheet. You
Okay.
just tell me what I need to add and subtract and whatnot.
That's fine. We can do that. Give me 1 second.
Don't fall off, Brandon. It hurts.
Right.
Okay. So the orc has a +1 dexterity. So I'd like you to roll a d20. Okay. So I'd like you to roll a d20. Okay. And you're going to add a +1. And then you're going to also add your proficiency bonus of a +2. So you're going to roll a d20 +3.
I got a 16. So
Okay.
that would be a 17.
So you lurch forward on your orc, no problem, and begin bounding again at a fast pace. Aiden, I'd like you to do the same.
Oh
Go ahead
God!
and roll your dexterity. If you're proficient with it, you can add proficiency.
Hold on. What allows me to add the proficiency bonus?
Okay, let me look at your character sheet real quick. I forget sometimes that I'm playing with newer players or players that don't play 5e all the time, okay? And so some of the things are, almost like speaking Spanish sometimes. No
I have
problem.
mine pulled up.
No problem. But in your lore, okay,
Yeah.
okay, it looks like you have a +5 dexterity bonus. Okay. You are proficient with dexterity, giving you a +8 in the stat. So I want you to roll a d20 and add +8.
Okay.
Aiden, are you doing it off your phone? Okay, never mind. I see it.
24.
All right. So you roll a 24.
Jesus.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you actually begin on your wolf bounding twice as well. You bound so fast that you not only catch up with Brandon, but you surpass him without any problems whatsoever.
As I zoom past him, I just give him the middle finger.
So I have a feeling that your roles would have been completely different had you known you were adding a +8. But for the narrative, it worked out perfectly. So I'm glad it worked out the way.
Yeah.
So from there, you two catch up with the rest of the wargs, or rest of the wolf riders. And you guys continue your way across the plains. About an hour transpires, and you guys have traveled several miles. You guys really don't seem like you're heading, Aiden, you don't feel like you're heading in any particular direction. You kind of just seem like you're running from like a checkpoint, some like weird, obscure, like rock pile to some weird log that has something etched in it. And then, you're just going to weird checkpoint. You're not really going anywhere. Like, you're patrolling, making sure that the land is secure, zigzagging here and there, backtracking, checking different little valleys and different watering holes, seeing if people are here. And it's at one of these watering holes that you guys see, okay? And your wolves, after riding for the first hour or so, they're getting antsy, and so forth, very playful, and they begin to make their way over to get some water as the rest of the orcs go and, begin checking around the area. Some of them pull out some meat, some ale. No fire started. You're not going to be here long. One of the orcs says, all right, you got 15 minutes, and then we're back on the road. We got to go check the lake, make sure the lake doesn't have anyone nearby. Now, I have been hearing that there might be some gypsies that have been stationed out there. Now, from what I hear, they have failed to pay tribute. So, get ready, boys. We're looking for blood. We're looking for gypsy blood. We're heading to the lake from here. I want two parties, one headed north, one headed south, and we're gonna pinch them at the pass. No one survives. You got it?
Understood.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Mood changes. I start feeling very chaotic.
say again.
I start feeling very chaotic.
Oh, so
I'm
now
not
you're
happy. Like
getting
I am.
summer. So you're glowing with embers and fire. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, so Brandon, you see this? What was this woodsy elf? Okay, listening to this inspiring, somewhat inspiring, hey, let's go murder some helpless people, and suddenly gets all fired up, literally. What do you think?
So I noticed that he's now glowing with embers, and I calmly look at him and go, "Oh, so now we're gonna turn this woodsy, peacekeeping, loving elf that was sprouting flowers. Now we're going to fight with a firecracker."
Aiden, do you have a retort, or is that are you going to take that from him?
I'm just gonna warn him not to get too close because it might get a little hot. Implying that, like, I'm really ready to just go kill some shit. And I really don't care what.
All right. The lead orc, he says, all right, you two, that'll be enough. All right. The boss wants to see what you have. I'm going to have you take point. Take point coming south. You there. Glumps. He looks at you, Brandon. Apparently that's your name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Glumps.
Okay.
You stick near him. Make sure he's not a sissy. Then you bloodthirsty sons of bitches, let's go get him.
Who got it, boss?
Oh, it was entertaining.
But yeah, so apparently, Aiden, you're going to be leading the charge of your group.
Eat.
Okay. All right, and Brandon, you're supposed to make sure that he's not scared of, being the first one to pull the trigger. Meaning that he's supposed to be the one. No one else shoots until he does. You make sure no one else shoots until he does. Okay?
No, I got you.
All right? Anyone says different, you deal with. You've been entrusted with that as part of your duty.
Alrighty.
All right. So you guys finish up, resting up, and getting your wargs some water or wool. Pardon me. I'm still a little under the weather. I got.
No, you good? Bless you.
So, you guys finish up resting up at the watering, and you guys been again on your way. Brandon, you know the direction that you're supposed to be heading, and so you're guiding the elk, and about 30 minutes or so from you guys beginning off, you can see the lake that the orc was talking about previously. And sure enough, you can see that there is a encampment of gypsies there. This seems to be 3 wagons, okay? Maybe about 10 to 15 people. And of course, a few horses here and there. There is a fire that is set, and they're cooking dinner or whatever. And some of them are bathing, and others are cleaning their clothes and whatever. They're doing normal camp stuff. Let me get some stealth checks, guys.
Now, I got a question. My character, is he proficient in stealth?
Oh yeah. Let me.
I got a 9. Damn. That.
So.
Oh no.
You're gonna roll a. I want you to roll a +3 for it, Brandon. And
+3.
Yes. So, Lorik, is it? You should be rolling a +8. So you're gonna roll a d20 +8.
I got a 19.
Was that you, Brandon?
Yes.
Okay. And Aiden, what did you get?
A 9.
You rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as it turns out, being a large burning fireball is not a good thing when you're trying to be quiet and hidden. As you guys come up on the come up out of a gully up onto the rise, looking down upon this encampment, and as soon as you do, there is Aiden that is, fire coming from his head, and one of the gypsies stands up and points and says, "Orcs." So they're about 130 feet out right now, Aiden. Okay.
Okay.
Your wolf can move pretty fast, and you can shoot pretty far. In fact, you have what looks like a 500. You have some range with this thing, 150 to 600 feet. So they're definitely within range. Okay. And your wolf, it can travel pretty quickly. 50 feet, I believe, let me confirm that.
Oh, Patrick, I just want to say I was right earlier. It was a dog in the bushes.
Oh, it was? What kind of dog was it?
I don't really know.
So yeah, your dire wolf, I was correct, can move 50 feet per round. Which means if it ran full speed this round, you'd be 30 feet. And you could be shooting arrows. So, what would you like to do?
I would like to start charging up there on the back of my dire wolf while shooting arrows.
Okay. So you ride forward, go ahead and make an attack.
What shall I roll?
Okay. So I'm bringing up your character sheet. You have a plus 10 to hit with your longbow. You have 2 attacks per round.
$13.
13?
Yeah.
You rolled a 3?
Yeah.
You miss. So your first arrow, it shoots high, okay? Just over the head of the guy that was pointing at you as he ducks underneath the arrow. You do have another attack. And you have this hunter's mark.
Yeah. How do I use the hunter's mark? Oh.
So your hunter's mark is going to be a bonus action. Okay? Alright? With spell. Alright? And so look on your character sheet. You're going to go to the spell section. Okay? Do you see that?
Yeah, I see where it says cast hunter's mark.
I want you to go ahead and press that. So you're going to press cast on it. Now you're using that spell slot. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, so you cast it, and then you're going to do an additional d6 points of damage, and they really can't hide from you. Even if they try to, you're going to have advantage trying to find them. So it's all good thing.
$23.
Okay, so you hit it. Now, normally, what your damage is. Bring your character sheet up. Is a D8 plus 5. So go ahead and roll that for me. A D8 and add 5.
$12.
Okay. Now I'm going to roll another D6 and add that to it as well.
Add it to the 12.
Yeah, that's from your hunter's mark. You can actually access the spell again on the spell slot and just roll that D6 next to it. Or you can just find a random D6 on the character sheet or roll one physical. It's up to you.
Oh.
Because that's the effect of the that you get.
It was a 15.
Wait, no. So you added the full total and it came out to 15 total?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So you do kill him. You hit this time as he turns to run right in his back and he falls over motionless. So on your next turn, you can use your bonus action to turn it on to a new person. And from this point, it's your turn. Okay? So you see that he made an attempt. Not only that, but he also felled his first victim. Yay. Especially if you really confused, you get to attack too. So,
yeah.
You have a javelin, okay?
Okay.
It has range from 30 feet to 120 feet. Now, you can charge full movement of your dire wolf and be within 30 feet of them, so you won't take disadvantage of that. You'll be completely within range. So,
Okay.
so if you want, go ahead and roll your javelin to attack.
All right. So what's the bonus that I get, like the +5 or anything like that? Is there anything plus?
+5, yeah.
+5?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna roll because I'm on my character sheet, so I'm just using the dice on there for it. That way I can add it to it. So.
Okay.
Got a 17, so +5.
All right. You hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit. So you're gonna roll a d6 and add a +3.
Add a plus.
Yep.
I got 9 to that.
9. So you hit one of the other gypsies with 9 points of damage, and you hit them with the javelin right in their leg, and crippling them. And you know they're not completely, but they may as well be. They're on the last leg, as it were.
Right.
And one of the other orcs throws a javelin, sticks it into his back, and he falls over dead. And a few of the orcs, they come in, and as they do, this band of orcs from the other way start hollering as the gypsies begin scurrying, trying to run up the embankment, get on horses, and trying to get their wagons moving. You see the other orcs start coming from the opposite direction, and cutting them off to where they know that there's no hope. They're coming around both sides of the lake now, and so they're far off in the distance though. But you guys are right up onto them. They just know that even if they get past you guys, if they even escape you guys, these guys are going to track them down. So they're going to stick. But you guys end up killing like 3, one of them being Aiden, and then you, Brandon, and one of the other orcs. The other orcs, they started another one, and they begin their wagons trying to flee. A couple of the gypsies, they start shooting back with crossbow. So Aiden, what is your AC?
My what?
Your AC.
Your armor class.
So by your character sheet, I'm looking at your character sheet now. I'm showing a 15. Okay. All right. So I'm going to roll C to shoot at you. And he rolls a 4, 3, which is going to miss. Okay. And it shoots at the foot of your wolf. People want to call a ward. At your wolf. Your wolf snarls. And then one of the other gypsies pulls out another crossbow and shoots at you, Brandon.
Okay. Now, going off of the orc that I found on the interweb, my AC class is 13 with hide armor.
Yeah. So this is kind of surreal. The gypsy hits you with a bolt, and you're going to take 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
So it hits you right in your leg, as almost to give you payback from the guy, the javelin, and your thigh gets hit with a bolt, just as it meets the around where it meets the knee. So you could say that you got hit. Go ahead and say it. Yep.
I got hit. I took an arrow.
That's right. And that's going to bring us around to the next round. Aiden, it's your turn. So you were able to down one of the gypsies with your hunter's mark. So you can use your hunter's mark again as a bonus action and apply it to someone else. Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is the guy that was shooting at you with a bolt. I'm assuming that's the guy you want to hit, or do you want to hit the guy that actually hit Brandon?
Both of them. I want to shoot 2 arrows at once.
Can you have that ability?
I don't know. I didn't know that was a...
That's fine. What I'm asking is, do you want to target one of them with Hunter's Mark?
Yeah.
Because you can only target one of the other.
Yeah, I'll target the one who hit Brandon.
Okay. And so go ahead and attack one of them, and then go ahead and attack the other. Okay? All right? So you do have 2 attacks, so you can do that. Whether or not you hit them both, I don't know. So go ahead and shoot your first arrow, and this will be the guy that hit Brandon. Okay? Or what was your name again, Brandon? You remember?
I do not. You want me to go off of just the characters that I pulled up?
What did you pull up?
Literally, his name is Orc. ORC.
That's a race, I think. So sure, we'll call you Orc. Sure. I forget sometimes the names I give people. So here it is. Gurch. That's your name. Gurch. It's like a guttural thing. It's Gurch.
Okay.
Okay. And so anyway, so Brandon, I mean Aiden, roll your attack.
Okay.
Sorry, I distracted.
And what was it I added to that again?
A +10.
Yeah. Okay, a 15 so if it's +10, then a 25 and a 9. Or 11, sorry. A 25 and an 11.
Hold on. So the first one, you hit with a 25. And then you rolled again, and you rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure. Okay. All right, so you hit with the first one. Go ahead and roll a D8 +5, and then plus a D6. So roll a D8 and a D6 plus.
$18 total.
Okay. So you shoot him square in the heart, and he lunges forward and falls out of the cart, falls out of the wagon, and then you quickly turn to shoot at the other gypsy, and at that time, the wolf jumps over the one you hit, Brandon, the one you killed, and at the time that you're trying to shoot with the arrow, and you end up completely missing. Go ahead and roll me a fumble, okay, to see if you hold on to your bow. So I want you to roll a dexterity saving.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna roll a d20 plus 8.
$27.
Okay, that's you be fine. You don't lose your weapon or anything. You recover just fine. but you do miss one. Brandon, it is your turn. Elf has killed the gypsy that hit you. There is still a gypsy with a crossbow bolt, aimed at both of you. What would you like to do?
I'd like to take. Now, am I within my range of my javelin?
Sure.
All right. What I'd like to do is I'd like to roll to throw my javelin.
Yeah. So what I'm sorry, I should be more plain. So what I'm kind of imagining is you guys are tracing this caravan of wagons with these gypsy cars. And as you're the last cart, there's two guys pointing out of the back of the wagon shooting at you with crossbows. And as you're shooting at them, one of, Aiden kills and then jumps over it, that's how he fumbled. And so there's still one other guy in the back of that wagon. Okay? So, Brandon, go ahead and make your attack.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll for my attack, which will be, let's say, +3? That?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll roll. I got an 8.
Okay, so that's gonna miss. So you throw your javelin, and it planks into the side of the wagon. One of the other orcs, he throws a javelin and it misses as well. As you guys continue to chase him. The gypsies turn now, and I'm going to shoot again at you, Aiden. Okay. Gypsies are not going down without a fight. He hits you.
Ooh. How much?
For full damage, it's going to be 8 points of piercing damage. You get hit right in the shoulder.
Ooh. Alrighty then.
Right in your left shoulder, the one you hold your bow and arrow with.
Well then.
But now you're not going to let that slow you down, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
It is your turn. You guys still chasing the car?
I can use a cure wounds, right? Or wait, no, that's for somebody else or something.
Hold on. Yeah, you can use that.
To like heal myself.
Yep.
Ooh. And that's a 1d8 plus 2.
All right, so you fully heal yourself. Oh, yeah, roll it. Yeah, sorry.
Ooh. I mean, it's better. I got 3.
Give me 1 second.
Sorry about that. I'm back inside. So yeah, you said you rolled a total of a 3.
Yeah, so I healed for 3.
Okay, so you still have 5 points of damage. All right. So that means that it would be Brandon's turn. Brandon, you still have one javelin left.
Okay. So let me see, and I'm just going off of based on what I found. It was just like a simple, basic, um, character sheet that they found on
You're just a
D&D
basic one.
Beyond. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I am going to, since it's basically I got either melee or range, and right now we haven't stopped the wagon. I'm going to use the javelin. I'm
Okay.
gonna.
So Brandon, let me stop you there. Let me lay out some options for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you guys are trailing right behind the wagon. Okay. Do you remember how earlier in the session I had you and Aiden kind of race? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So I adopted that from a previous game called Star Wars Saga, whatever. And in that, they would use different vehicles, and they would try to push their vehicles to their limits. And if they did by a certain degree, they would increase the speed of that vehicle. So if you roll a d20 plus your dexterity modifier and your proficiency, as we determined to be a +3, okay, and you can get a +10, you can hit a DC of a 10, then you will be able to increase the speed of your wolf, okay, by a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Catching up to the wagon.
Nice. All right, so I'll actually do that then.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an opposing by the wagon, okay? And if I'm higher, then the wagon continues to succeed. He's going to get a +2 for this check. So I'm going to roll against you, okay? You get a +3, I get a +2. To succeed, you need to roll a 10, okay? But then you still have to beat me in order to, keep it going faster than me.
I got a 14. I rolled a 14 with my +3.
Okay. I rolled a dirty 19. So he continues to keep ahead of you. That's okay. You still have a javelin. And next turn, if this still continues, maybe we can catch up to him. Okay? So go ahead and throw your javelin.
Right. So, is it still my turn?
Yes, it is.
All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna roll for a javelin. Now this time I'm not gonna aim for the person, more or less. I'm going to aim for the wheels, since it's a wagon. I am going to aim to try to throw it in between the spokes of the wheel to try and flip that wagon.
Okay. So, okay. I like that. All right. So we'll say that you, instead of just straight up trying to charge up and catch up to the wagon, because you are trying to pass it or catch up to it, you actually veer off a little bit to the right, exposing the hind side or the broad side of the wagon, and you aim your javelin directly into it. Go ahead and roll me an attack. It's a +3.
Okay. I got 20 altogether.
Okay. You do hit. Go ahead and roll me damage.
Nat 20? You want me to roll the D20?
No. You're gonna roll damage, so that's gonna be the damage for the javelin.
D6, right?
Yes.
Okay. I got a 5.
So D6 +3. So 5 + 3 is 8. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, you do 8 points of damage to the wheel. Okay. And this does, in fact, even though it doesn't make the wheel come off, it does make the wheel jostle a little bit. And you know what this does, Brandon? It
What's that?
slows down the wagon.
Yep.
Success. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, because it's my turn now, after the other, after the wagon speeds up, and you two and Brandon, you alone are keeping up with the wagon, trying to keep it from getting away. Meanwhile, you throw your javelin into the side and you try to slow it down. But you're the only one really in range. The rest of the orcs, they're trying to throw, but they're at disadvantage now because they're a little bit out of range. Okay, and so all their javelins are missing. But the guy, he's still up, and he's gonna try to shoot you one more time. He does hit. Here's a moment. This is it. Here we go. For 3 points of damage.
Okay.
So let's see. You're not exactly the most hardy of creatures. You are a basic orc, a basic 2-hit die creature. So you previously took 6 points of damage, am I right? Into your leg. And now you've taken another 3. So that's a total of 9. So you're down past half hit points, but you're still up. You're still up. You have 6 hit points left. You're clinging just by a thread. As this other bolt comes and it hits you in your shoulder, okay, your throwing arm, okay, in your right arm, and right in your bicep, right in your bicep. You're like, you're out of javelins anyway, but
right,
it's to the sword now, no doubt.
Yeah.
And Aiden.
Yeah.
All right, we come back around. It is your turn.
Oh. Am I still close up to the wagon?
Let's go and see if you can keep up with your wolf. The wagon did speed up, trying to keep away from Brandon. So, let's go ahead and roll a dexterity. Okay, you have a +8 for this.
$15.
Okay, so you managed to keep within range. So you're not going as fast as Brandon is. Brandon is actually keeping up with the wagon just fine, and the wagon is slowing down a little bit. So you're still within range, but yeah, you're still, let's say, about you're about 90 feet from the wagon right now. Okay, so you're still within range with your bow, though. If you would like to make an attack now, are you going to try to attack the guy that's shooting, or you did get your hunter's mark? Now you didn't choose to use it the next turn, so you lost it. It's no longer in effect. Okay.
Yeah.
You chose to heal instead, and so would you like to use another bonus action to reactivate it, spending another spell slot, or do you want to just go all natural?
I'll just shoot at him naturally.
And are you going to shoot at him, or are you going to take Brandon's cue and shoot at the wheel?
Actually, yeah, I will. I'll shoot at the wheel.
Okay. Make an attack.
What was that?
Make it so. Engage. Sally forth. Green light means go. Go, shoot, 6. Roll your attack.
Oh, I thought I had to roll to hit it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay, yeah. I got 6.
I didn't know how many different ways to say it.
I just zoned out really bad on that moment. But
So roll your d20 and add a +10.
$20.
Dirty 20. Okay. You hit. Roll damage. That's going to be a d8 +5. My curse is remembering all these things.
It's a D8 +5, right? You're cutting out pretty bad.
Yes, I didn't say anything. I just nodded. So I can tell you guys are on Discord, so you're not seeing me when I'm agreeing with you. Okay.
Oh, I'm now back at it.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll just be like, yeah.
Okay. And then a D6. 14.
14. All right. 14 points of damage. So you rolled a 9. No, wait. You rolled an 8 plus 5. So to get 14, you would have had to roll
Or wait,
9.
only rolled it after that. I was adding it.
Okay. So you would have had to roll a 9 to get 14.
It was a 10.
So just roll a d8 plus 5.
8.
8. Okay. So you hit the wheel with 8 points of damage. And this damages it further. The wheel doesn't come apart completely, though. It has a decent hardness. But you have another attack. Would you like to attack it again?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So 15.
You hit. And then roll your damage, which will be
The D8.
d8 plus 5.
10.
Okay, so that's plenty. What I typically do for objects is I give them a pool of points. Okay. In this case, just like 20. So once you did 20 points, you'd be able to destroy it. You guys were right there. So, yeah, so you managed to destroy the wheel, and the wheel actually comes off. The wagon then, skids on one wheel down the ground, digging in as the guy that's still in the wagon shooting out the back comes tumbling out of the back, and then the wagon actually comes to a halt. Okay, as the other two wagons continue to speed off. You can see that this other group of orcs are now making their way around the lake and have come on an intercept course to waylay and surround the other two wagons that continue charging forward as you have stopped this one. Brandon. Brandon?
Yes. I'm sorry,
Okay.
you cut out really bad.
Sorry, I apologize. You can hear me though?
You're good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Brandon. So the wagon comes to a halt, and the other group of orcs have now caught up to the other wagons that were charging forward as you guys have waylaid this one that you shot the wheel off of. It is your turn, okay? So you have no trouble catching up to a broken wagon. And you approach,
Right.
and there are, of course, more gypsies inside. And we're going to say from this point, you just got to have your way with them, okay? I'm not gonna we're not going to do this. We're just going to say the rest of the gypsies, when the rest of your orcs and like that, they catch up to them. Yeah, you guys have your way, and you guys have your prize. You guys gather a number of resources. Your group from this wagon gets about 80 gold or so, and then you split that out amongst you. It comes out to about 7 or 8 gold per person, plus a couple trinkets, this and that. There is, of course, one of the crossbows, and the leader of your little band um, comes over and sees that you've taken a crossbow bolt to your arm, Aiden. Is this and he sees that it's still just kind of sticking there, and he grabs it and pulls it out. It's good. You got bled in your first fight. It's good. And he licks the he licks the bolt. He's like, "Yep, that's the blood of a warrior. I smelled it before." So, Gunch, how did he do? Looking to you, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
He asks you how
I'm sorry.
Aiden's character, Lorik, did.
So I smile nice. I smile, really, really big, and I look at the commander and I go, "Well, our little firecracker, you know, he has a big bang to his hits. He's no longer the dog that barks. He is the dog that bites."
And he led the charge.
Indeed, sir. He did. He actually did very well. But he got him right on the mark the second.
This is good. Sorry, still sick, like a little Niagara Falls going on.
No, you're good.
So yeah, you guys are there, and all the orcs are listening to you talk about the events, and they agree that Lorik, you performed well in the heat of battle. The rest of the orcs that were traveling with you told of how you killed 2 on your own, and how you managed to bring the wagon to a halt, and that when you were hit, it didn't phase you at all. You just carried on as though nothing had happened at all, and you performed well. Yeah, you were a good warrior, great asset. Um, and so you guys end up finishing up your patrol. It takes several hours, and you make your way back around and come back around to the south entrance of Chimera. By this time, the night has set back in, and you guys come back in, and the streets are very quiet as you make your way into the castle keep and into the courtyard. There, Malcor, the orc, waits with you and waits in the courtyard. Next to him is this human captain that normally is out in the courtyard training different soldiers, and then next to him is Lady Val. So the three of them wait in the courtyard as the 40 orcs um, come, or sorry, yeah, 20 orcs riders come riding in on 20 direwolves, and you guys ride on in, and Malcor listens to the leader talk about the endeavor and said that talks about the patrol caught up to the gypsies, managed to slaughter them without any trouble, and says that they weren't carrying anything any significance, and they only had a few little trinkets. Um, Malcor asks if Floric performed well, the funny looking elf, and he looked over his shoulder, um, and he nods. He says, "Aye, he has the blood of a warrior." Um, and Malcor, okay, nods with approval, okay, and looks back over at Lady Bell. He says, "Lorith won my rider's approval as a true hunter. Therefore, I approve." And he dismisses everybody. Okay, and the orcs they start to file out of the courtyard, and the wolves they begin to make their way back into the kennels. Um, your wolf, Aiden, as you get off, it nuzzles up to your hand as you pet it. Is there anything you'd like to say to the wolf or whatever? I don't know. Do you want any alone time with your wolf?
Damn it, Brandon. Is there any like
Wine and dine it, huh?
Not that kind of alone time, Brandon. Although I should have known. As soon as I said it, you started giggling. I was like, oh, please don't say it. At least you refrained from saying it. So I give you credit there. So, Aiden,
is there any food? Is there any food or water around that I could give to the wolf?
Sure, we'll say that you have some rations with you, or some dried meats, and maybe whatever, some bread. The biscuit sniffs the biscuits and sniffs your jerky, and definitely likes it. And you start feeding it. Sure.
And I would also
You don't say. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works. Was there something else you wanted to do, Aiden?
no, that's about it.
Oh, okay. I don't know why it sounded like you were going to do something else. Okay. All right. So yeah, you're feeding the wolf dried meat and your biscuits as Lady Vel approaches you. She has a bow in her hand. She says, "Malcor told me you were looking into a new bow."
He speaks the truth.
He told me he made a promise that if you performed well, that he'd give you this bow.
Indeed.
He is a work of his word. I am asking you for your word. She hands you the bow. Will you wield this bow in my honor? I'm sorry, I'm still speaking like a work. Pardon me. She
Lady
says,
Bell's voice got
really weird. Right. She's sorry. In the shadows realm. The shadows prevail. Well then, I was told by Malcolm that you were looking into a new bow. Is that correct?
Indeed.
And I was told also that he promised you this bow if you performed well. Is that also?
Yes.
She then produces the bow and hands it to you. Malcolm is an orc of his word. Still doing it. Malcolm is an orc of his word. And I wonder if I have your word. Will you wield this bow in my honor?
As long as there's always coin and rum involved.
I didn't realize it'd be so easy. Those things are easy to come by. Do you not aspire to more than just rum and riches?
Maybe.
What is it that you truly desire?
To be the best. And have the best gear.
For one to be the best, you'd have to have a measure of what the best is. So, who shall you? Who do you idolize? Who is it that you aspire to be? The great hero? The great hunter? The great assassin?
Assassin.
Then your measure of a true assassin. There was one known as the Dragon's Bane. Have you heard the story?
No, I have not.
Well, come, follow me, she says. The wolf, it seems to have come to like you. Call it a gift.
Really?
Of course.
Why, thank you.
It will be here. We will take care of it. Whenever you want to, she will be there for you to ride. You do realize it. Just go. I only keep females.
Hmm.
And then she says,
I'm liking.
what's that?
I said I'm liking this place more and more by the minute.
And then she says, follow me. As one of the trainers comes out and collects the wolf and takes it into the kennel. You, of course, follow her into the main foyer and then down to the left. Now, you've never been this way before. Every time you've come in, coming through the foyer, you see all the flags, all the nations. Gone in the first time you guys did, or the first time Brandon and Dean did, they heard music and they went into the main audience chamber, which you, of course, have used many times since you've been here. But this is the first time you've actually gone to the left. Okay. And start following her down that hallway. And it's a long, long corridor. and then rounds a corner. Of course, there were doors that litter the walls here and there, and you make your way up some stairs and make your way into the rooms above. She walks into one of the chambers there, and you see that it is adorned with many tapestries on the wall. You see a rug of like a polar bear, and you see a wolf that is stuffed, and you see an elk that is mounted to the wall, and you see even like a mountain lion that is perched on the top of a mantle that sits over a fireplace, and that there is a bed in here, and says, "This, of course, I made for a fine hunter. I wanted you to feel at home. This is your home now, of course."
Well, thank you.
She lets you enter, and then enters in with you and sits at the table, and invites you to sit at the table with her.
I would love to.
She says, "The Dragon's Bane." Now, the Dragon's Bane has been said to be a legend. Um, now, many legends are often not quite as true as they're said to be, but if you look deeper, you will find the truth of where legends come from. The Dragon's Bane was thought to be one man. It was found to be many. I say man, but it was never a person at all, really. It was an organization. An organization that did its best to give the illusion it was the same person. And it would operate all across the world, even the same color. A white palm. A white palm. No one knows if it was actually a handprint, or if it was some sort of decoration, or some sort of stamp, but they're persistent on victims. Victims that, of course, met their demise by someone providing someone else with enough coin to make them decide that they were better off dead. And the legend of the Dragon's Bane grew. But why? Why do they call him the Dragon's Bane? Because even dragons feared this assassin. See, made its living, its bid for being legendary with a vendetta against a dragon. Now, I don't believe that you have such ambitions, but maybe you do. So tell me, what is your dragon?
Dang, that's a good question. Yeah. I'm gonna just respond with, I guess that's something that I may still have to figure out.
So, how about you ponder that? At some point, we'll get back to it. Meanwhile, your friends, they have a dragon of their own to slay. The job. And if they are successful in that endeavor, perhaps they will meet you here and tell them it has been nice to spend this time with you, to get to know you, as it were. Tell me, is there any questions that you have for me?
Do you know of anything else you need me to do?
Eager to please, are
Indeed.
we? All in due time.
very well.
But do you have any, you must have some curiosities. Surely. You can't have spent all this time in Chimeria and been like, oh, this is normal. I mean, come on, honestly, Aiden. This is me talking to you right now. You've seen some stuff. You've got to have some questions. And here she is offering you answers. Are you really just going to be like, ah?
I surely hell wouldn't.
I guess I'm curious on what all is really going on, like all the secret stuff around this place. I've noticed, like, people hanging out on the other sides of doors while we have conversations.
Secrets. I keep no secrets from anyone. Why, I always tell you exactly what I mean. If you saw someone on the other side of the door, it's because you were meant to. You see, I had to make sure you knew that you were already dead.
Oh. And how am I already dead?
No, you may misunderstand. At the moment, here's my perspective. Some strangers come wandering into Tavern, asking questions about one of my nobles doing their business in one of my stores. And not all my business is exactly reputable. Some things are not exactly always on the up and up. For instance, right now, I speak with an assassin. So, when people come around asking questions about my business, I make it a point to know that they mean me no ill will. So when I say you were meant to know you were already dead, I mean to say that you were meant to know there was somebody on the other side of that door. And definitely, if that, well, how do I put it, Nate? I'm not a nice person. She says as she grabs an apple out of a bowl. Okay? Okay. And you see that there's many fruit in this bowl, oranges and tangerines, some grapes and a banana and an apple. And she picks up the apple. And as she picks it up, you can see that it already begins to wither and wilt. Okay? And it just begins to decompose and turns and crumbles into nothing between her fingers without her doing anything at all. And she just simply blows it, and it turns to ash and falls on the ground. And as it falls on the ground, the illusion of her comes away. And she is not a beautiful, elegant woman, or an elf, or a drow, or a noble, or alive. She is an undead creature, filled with the soul of malice and ill content. She is a lich. Her eyes grow like embers. Her skin completely pulled and stretched across every crevice of her bone as they protrude in different points. And you can see the flesh is decomposed and wilted off. Almost as she moves, you can see the skin begin to flake off and turn to ash. And you can see as her hair is flowing backwards, it still is full and white and almost glowing the blue hue as her eyes glow with red and green embers. But it doesn't glow protruding. It's somewhere behind the blackness. You see this glow. And you see through, as she speaks, her lips do not move. And you continue to hear her speak. She speaks with, of course, this flowery voice. This is my true form. I suck life from those who do not find it to be precious. Do you enjoy life?
I do.
Good. Because I take no enjoyment from taking it from those that do not care about it. Now then, if you betray me, I will swallow your soul. And with that, I bid you good day. And she gets up and she walks out of the room.
Okay. Yeah. Just sit on my bed and kind of rub my forehead as oh, I almost shit myself moment.
Behold, Lady Vel.
Right.
I just rubbed my forehead and, well, that was scary.
Well then.
And I think I'm going to end the session right about here. Of course, if there's anything else you wanted to add or do from this point, go ahead. But I think this is probably the moment where you need some contemplation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, with no further ado, I guess, unless you had anything else, Aiden or Brandon.
So, going further with mine and Dean's kind of mission quest, I don't physically, my character doesn't know what Lady Vel looks like. It's only Aiden now that knows. So, I am not to say anything when me and Dean are doing our campaign.
That's correct.
Quest.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you have that unfortunate thing. You know something that your character doesn't know. So you have to make that division between player and character knowledge. And that's the staple for any good player. So
yeah, that right there, that's pretty intense, and that's pretty cool. How we get to get involved with our character, and in real life we actually know the whole story. We actually know the whole perspective of each character and what they look like and how they speak and everything like that, doing different quests and shit.